Hello and welcome to Spiral Strategies Crypto Chronicles podcast. My name is Talal. I'm here with Art.
Hey guys, good to be back.
Good to have you all with us. So the first order of business, everyone, is just to get through some of the top headlines today. We've got a couple on our plate, so let's get stuck into it. So the first one we're looking at is over 1 billion in Bitcoin has been withdrawn from Coinbase, Art. Um, Around 4,800 BTC were withdrawn from Coinbase, which suggests kind of that's the minimum, that's the smallest amount, which suggests that people are actually long term. They're shifting towards the long term. They're not. There's not much more leverage traders, which was further emphasized by the recent dip in the market. Now, what does that mean for the overall market? That is bullish in the long term, everyone. The reason for that is people aren't ready to trade or sell off their Bitcoin. What do you think of this for the overall market, Art?
Yeah, it looks pretty it's a bit of both, kind of bullish and bearish. Bullish in the long term that, most likely a lot of these outflows, I'm assuming are going to be to your hardware wallets. So, um, it looks like people are getting their coins off of their exchanges onto their software or hardware wallets for safekeeping. I think because we are seeing quite a bit of FUD come out recently with some further news that we'll get into. But yeah, it looks like these outflows, I mean, it's normal. We're going to see inflows and outflows. So you're going to see a lot of inflow news
Mm,
when you start to see bottoms or dips in the markets, and then you'll see a lot of these shifts in news in sentiment with outflows when you see top heavy kind of price action, which we're seeing and which we covered recently in the daily shows as well.
yeah. Another piece of information and news that we have been eyeing is nearly 1 billion in Ethereum has flowed into centralized exchanges. Now, guys, just to be very frank, this is quite bearish, and the reason for that is it suggests that people are getting ready for something in regards to ETH. And I believe, Art, you've got a news story about the SEC.
Yeah, so we've got that news story that ties into it as well. So with the SEC, they're kind of cracking down on Ethereum. They're looking to categorize it as a security. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how that kind of plays out with talks of an ETF with Ethereum coming out as well. And it's looking like they're going to kind of hammer down on that and then try and block that from happening. And yeah, we're going to see what happens with the news in the upcoming weeks and months,
Mm,
especially heading into that Bitcoin halving as well. Um, but yeah, look, I think overall the message is that the next few months you're going to see bearish news, some FUD, um, heading into most likely after the halving.
hmm
Um, yeah, so keep your eyes peeled out for that.
Yeah, Gary Gensler has his eyes set out on Ethereum. And there's another news story that came out a few days prior that the Ethereum Foundation is actually under investigation by a government organization. Now, this does drive uncertainty amongst investors. Now, if you look at here, there's a lot of inflows coming into centralized exchanges. So
Yeah, you can see that the market structure W is coming in.
exactly,
Right
exactly.
there, boom. That's technical analysis on fundamental analysis, which is kind of cool to see.
Mm,
So you're seeing that kind of inflows,
here,
like confirmed W coming in. So in the short term, inflows net positive.
exactly, which further confirms and solidifies what's happening with the overall sentiment around Ethereum. So keep an eye out on your Ethereum stacks, everyone. Does this mean Ethereum is, gonna go to $1? Not necessarily, but we are getting towards the market cycle where there is a blow off top and people are either one trying to cash in and two, getting ready to let the dust settle. So we are coming into a seasonal window. Usually May is where large seasonal investors in the traditional finance space will actually sell off their assets. I believe the saying goes, sell in May and walk away. So
That's it.
be aware that this can cause the Ethereum price to retrace. Now let's just take a quick look at Ethereum, just so that we can see where it might go. Um,
And while you put the chart up there, I just wanted to quickly say, most likely the reason why we're seeing net inflows is people want to have that kind of ready on exchanges, ready to trade in or out. And most likely the story is going to be they're going to trade out. So you're going to see that price movement dip back
mhm,
from from the highs at 4,000 down to your accumulation, which Talal's written there, which is around about 2,000, 2,200.
mhm. So considering that we've got an accumulation zone here, let's take a look at where people will most likely reaccumulate. So if we take a retracement, everyone, from the lowest point of the accumulation to the highest point, if this was a true bull, we should expect a 38.2 retracement. Now, that would be at around 3052, and in fact, it did tag it. Now, does this level hold is the real question. If this level holds and the next week we're up from here, then that's fine. Bull is on. No need to panic. But if it doesn't and it breaks down further, we can expect at least a 50% retracement, if not a 61.8. So keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out on the news and maintain a healthy look at your charts.
And while you're there, let's look left as well.
Hmm.
Just take a look left and let's take a look at some of our key support and resistance zones. So I can see that market structure, massive market structure M, as a key support. So your 2,200 wick, yeah, right there. That's a key level there. I mean, that's probably looking at worst case,
Hmm.
and that's kind of like a Wyckoff kind of level as well. Um, and then you've got another one there at 61.8.
That's 61.8 here at the actual W. So we're getting confluence around this level. Now, does this necessarily mean that we're going to break to this level? Not necessarily. Can we wick down there? I mean, you can't say no. It's always a possibility. We are getting our longer time frame exponential moving averages pointing to the upside. Now, this is technically bullish, but guys, market conditions always have a precedence over the TA, right? So we need to make sure that we pay attention and keep our fingers on the pulse there. Is there any more you wanted to add to this chart?
No, not ready to move on.
Okay, so the next point of news, guys, is Google becomes a Solana validator, and the market was really bullish on it. So Google Cloud becomes a Solana validator. What does this mean overall for the Solana ecosystem? One is yet to know. But for me personally, I to be honest with you, I just think, man, they're not doing any good with the whole narrative and stereotype that Solana is a centralized exchange. They're basically playing into that narrative. Now, for me as an investor or as a trader, this is bullish news, but for the crypto environment and for the crypto sake, I don't see this as bullish personally, because this just further emphasizes that Solana is becoming more centralized. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100% agree. And it's a bit of a weird one. I mean, Solana, you could say, is kind of like that wild card, for sure. And it definitely was back when it was $8. No one was thinking that it would ever like. To be honest, I think the main sentiment around Solana at the lows of eight, when it was at $8, was it's pretty much a Luna. It's pretty much a
Exactly.
Terra, and it's just never going to come back. Like, there's no narrative, there's no story for Solana as a centralized kind of blockchain protocol. But here we are, um, almost at all-time highs,
Hmm.
and it's still got a name for itself.
I mean, we're up 25x from the $8 mark. It's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
And
It's
if that's not a bull, then I don't know what is. But
exactly, exactly. Now, is this too far too fast? I would say yes, personally. I mean, we only have really one solid accumulation zone, which was around the $20 mark. This one here at $100, this one just seems like a dead cat bounce. Now, I don't know whether see Solana to be honest with you, it perplexes me. I just don't get it. The whole system usually tanks. They have constant outages, right? They're centralized, yet they're performing extremely well. Like their transaction speeds aren't amazing. There's a lot of layer twos that have similar uh, uh, um, transaction speeds to Solana, yet it's just outperforming. I don't understand.
it could be the ecosystem. I'm pretty sure the ecosystem's quite friendly, and I think that's why that's why it's kind of there as like the top 10 next to Ethereum. I mean, the Ethereum onboarding is just a mess, man. Like to get into Ethereum,
Hmm.
you have to go through fees and fees and fees and all these things to get through to your layer twos to get like all these bridging things. Whereas with Solana, I think it's quite straightforward. It's actually they make it quite easy to onboard
That is
onto
something that
Solana.
they have that's really well. Their user experience on a lot of their applications is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of like an Apple, and I think that's why they've got that kind of movement.
Hmm.
Because like, I mean, you mentioned that the transaction speeds aren't that quick, but I've actually used it, and they're actually very, very quick,
Yeah, I'm
like
saying they're not
extremely
they're
quick.
not quick. Like I'm not saying that they're not quick. I'm saying there's a lot of competitors out there, like an Avalanche, right? That has quick transactions, right? Like an Arbitrum, they have quick transactions. Polygon, another one, right? They do have fast transactions. They're secure, right? They have very similar ecosystems, but they don't have outages. Yet Solana is outperforming. It's just an anomaly. I don't understand it. Now, does that mean I'm not going to invest? Of course, I'm going to invest. Now, granted, I really should have invested this down here at the $10 mark or the $20 mark, right? But that boat has sailed, and during this time, this was the time of the FTT collapse, right? With the whole Sam Bankman-Fried situation. Now, for me personally, because I knew that um, Sam Bankman-Fried had a lot of Sol uh, uh, um, bags, I was expecting the market to dump further. Yet that was the wrong hypothesis. And in fact, the Solana Foundation actually bought up most of the Alameda Research and the FTX Solana bags. I, I, I don't get it. I mean, it's an interesting case. It's a really fascinating story that we really need to keep an eye out on. I mean, it is too far too fast. I mean, 25x. It's basically parabolic. We should see a healthy retracement. Now, in May, usually, like we said, people sell off. So, can you look to accumulate during May? 100%. We can expect a at least 38.2% retracement, right? If not a 50%. Um, yeah. Do you have any more thoughts on Soul Art?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like it's getting into that. I think Solana's gonna get into that meme kind of NFT territory where essentially, um, at the peak of NFTs, uh, as people were buying, all these NFTs on Solana or on Ethereum, what would happen is I think right now what we're going to kind of see, I think we're kind of going to be entering that phase of okay, well if Solana's going down, yeah, Solana might be going down in the short term or long term, like yeah, short term, but essentially what could happen is essentially it could make kind of like a roll on effect where you have all these projects that are building on Solana. There are so many projects. I think the language model that they've built actually caters to a lot of devs, And what might happen is you're going to see a lot of flows from Solana into all these smaller microcap names,
Mm,
where essentially you could start killing it, like absolutely killing it in the markets. Like
mhm,
you could probably get into a really microcap name and turn that into tens of thousands of X's. And I think
mhm,
that's what a lot of people might start doing.
mhm,
They're going to start playing into the hype around Solana with what they're building. I'm not sure if there are a lot of decent projects out there, but I do know that there are a lot of meme projects out there, like your Bonk, like your yeah, all these Pepe coins, all these ape coins, and they're still around, and
mhm.
all these Elon, Elon Musk meme coins, all that type of stuff.
Or a
So people are gonna
Slurf.
definitely play into that. Exactly.
Yeah. Now, so I think you made a really great point there. Is Solana is experiencing what Ethereum experienced in the 2021 craze, the NFT craze. Now,
Yeah.
we should expect, people to eventually get tired of that. Now, will they? I don't know. One can't say. However, if we look at the charts, we are getting into overbought zones. On the RSI, we are heavily overbought. We're actually embedded in the overbought since November last year, right? If we look at the volume is waning. People are still stacking though, and that's depicted by the yellow line there on the on balance volume. Now, we're not getting any bearish divergences yet, but in my opinion, if I was a trader or an investor, I would cool my jets here. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably want to go down to a daily or a 12-hour or an 8-hour chart for this
Yeah.
to see those divergences. Probably a 12-hour or 4 hours is going to show a bit better
Hmm.
potential divergence on that MACD.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of rolling over here.
Yeah, it's definitely
Definitely
rolling over.
net net negative.
Hmm. I mean, on the Williams percentage R, we're clearly making M structures, double top structures, and we've crossed the 50% mark, which suggests to us that later on we should see oversold conditions.
And the
So
volumes just dried out as
yeah,
well.
the volume has clearly dried out. People aren't. Does this mean that the meme craze is going to go away? I don't think so. I think people are just frothing at the mouth for um, the next bonk. But investing potential, I don't see this as an ideal rational investment as of yet. Okay, so the next big thing that we keeping on the layer two or layer one story, Cardano has been getting a lot of bullish news recently. One of which is in 2024, over 2,000 wallets have been added to the ecosystem per day. Now, this is bullish. This is extremely, extremely bullish for ADA, and the reason being is it suggests that new people are coming in, adoption is coming in, people can see the value in Cardano. Now, in March of this year, um, the Cardano wallets actually reached around 4.6 million wallets. Now, if we see that on a graph, it's literally a linear graph, right? The reason for why this is bullish is again adoption, and people might be cycling art. They might be cycling. They see, oh well, Solana went through a meme craze. The next thing what will have to be Cardano. Let's go into another layer one, let's go into a layer two like Matic.
Yeah, and I went through that in the daily show as well, in one of the daily shows where, I basically showed Bitcoin as the leader of the market, where it broke its previous all-time high first,
Hmm.
then followed by Ethereum, which is, I believe, at 80 to 90% of its all-time high.
Hmm.
Solana following very closely behind that. But I think on Cardano, it had only reached not even 38.2 of its all-time high. And so you're
Hasn't
going
even
to
touched.
see a lot of rotation play
Hmm.
coming in where, we're cycling through all the coins by market cap essentially.
Exactly, exactly. And that was the play in 2021 as well. Ethereum had its peak, and then people rolled their gains into Solana, and then rolled their gains into Cardano. I mean, this is the textbook um, bull cycle. People rolling over their gains into other protocols to make further gains. Now, if we were to Actually, let's just touch on the next bit of news for Cardano, and that's focused more on the development. So smart contract development has gone up by 170% art year to date. Now, that's massive, not just for adoption. It means that people are actually coming to Cardano and building. One of the biggest issues that Cardano faced during 2020 and 2021, and in the last 2 years as well, is that they don't have developers. People aren't developing on Cardano, and clearly that sentiment has changed. I mean, this so nearly 500 new contracts, smart contracts, are being added to Cardano on a day by day basis, right?
What's the developing language on Cardano?
I I,
What do
bel
they use?
I don't know the actual language. I know it's difficult, but they are onboarding Solidity um, Solidity developers. So people that code on Ethereum using the Solidity language can now code on Cardano. So let's just
Because I thought from memory, yes, Ethereum used Solidity, but then
they use
I thought
Haskell.
Cardano used.
Mhm.
Ah, okay.
Apparently, it's a very computational heavy language, and not many people know this language. The
And I
the
think that's why a lot of people were turned away from Cardano was because of the the way it was difficult to onboard devs into Cardano.
yeah, I believe there was a figure out there that said only 15% of crypto developers know how to use Haskell, and I mean they've bottlenecked themselves there. To be fair, they have bottlenecked themselves. But with the advent of the Plutus V2 iteration, this new scaling solution allows other coders to come on board to Cardano and code in the languages that they know. I know that they've onboarded Solidity coders, and I believe that there is rumblings that they're going to allow other different languages to be coded on the Cardano network. Now, if we were just to look at the price action currently, uh, it's like everything else. We are in a bull cycle, guys. So it has pumped from its recent low of 22 cents. It's up 268%, almost 270% from its all-time highs, from its all-time lows, its recent all-time lows. But it hasn't even touched the 23.6 retracement to the upside. What it looks like is it has tagged this Wyckoff check, right, and rejected off it. Now, if we were to look at our EMAs, we have crossed to the upside. On the on the on the weekly, we are getting bearish divergences. The market is going up, the price action is going up. However, MACD is going down. Now, it's not confirmed yet, so it's still potential divergence. But if we were to look at the actual volume, I mean the volume doesn't look good at all here for Cardano art.
No, it doesn't.
So
And it just looks like it's going to go into a range, to be honest, and it's just going to come and backfill, basically.
exactly. And if we were to look at the actual volume profile for the last since the beginning of 2023 to now, you see that most transactions have been at around 40 cents, where we do have this gap here between 41 cents and 50 cents. So we could create a step here, and so we could retrace down here and
And
range
that's
bound.
probably a 50% retracement.
Exactly. So if we were to actually take this from the recent lows to here, it's actually around a 61.8 retracement. So we can expect the Cardano market to range around this level, and then if bullish news, particularly this new news of developers coming on board, is taken positively by the market, we can expect it to then go out and break um, this Wyckoff check and then try to get up to the next resistance points, which are around
Well, you see value there is
yeah
38.2 as well.
38.2 is value and big resistance here at this particular level.
Yeah,
Okay.
so $1.40, $1.30 Cardano definitely on the table.
100% on the table. Yeah, it's definitely doable. The
But you want to enter, you want to get in at a really good entry because you don't want to play it while it's too volatile.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And you know, 40 cents is a very doable level. It's actually a Wyckoff check of this double bottom. So that's a nice Wyckoff check here, guys. Let me just take this off. Um, so this is our Wyckoff check here. It's a nice healthy level at the 61.8 retracement. Um, and we can actually project and see how far this could possibly go. And we're getting levels at around $1.40 as we expect. Okay. The,
Moving on, I just wanted to touch on. I mean, if you're ready, if you're done with Cardano,
yep.
if you had anything else to
Actually, just
mention with
wanted to
Cardano.
show them, just wanted to show everyone the number of transactions. So since the beginning of 2023, majority of the transactions on Cardano were transfers, around 62%. And if we scrolled here to 2024, it's almost 50-50 DeFi and transfers with a little bit of NFTs. Now, again, this is really bullish because it suggests that people are adopting the ecosystem that is the Cardano network. Um, yeah, what do you want me to share your screen out?
Yeah, while we're on the topic of layer ones, I just wanted to mention an old name, old reliable XRP. It's been around in the
Old
space for way
Faithful.
too long.
Yeah.
Old faithful XRP. Now, I mean, I think you and I both know that I'm not too much of a fan of XRP. I don't like the way that they initially came into the space.
Hmm.
And a lot of people kind of share the same sentiment, but they've done a lot of work in regards to, fighting their SEC, and trying to basically become more regulated in a sense. And they're doing the right things there, and you can't fault them really. They're definitely contributing to the space a lot, nonetheless. But yeah, more recent news, essentially, XRP has now integrated their new feature, which is their new AMM system, which is essentially an auto market maker system, that's going to allow their dexes to function a lot better as well. And now the advantage with XRP, right? And I they've definitely got this going for them. Is I believe their liquidity pools are going to be quite large. Now, um, they've got some pools coming in, but the thing with XRP is because they've got such a large market cap compared to all the rest of the altcoins, um, they do have a chance to compete with all the other dexes, um, with this new AMM protocol. So XRP, and if we go into a chart of XRP,
Let's throw it
um,
up.
it's still, it's kind of like Cardano. I think XRP and Cardano are quite similar in that regard. Is that they're coming off their lows. They haven't gone too crazy yet, but they've got that potential to move up. Now, mind you, that XRP is already a massive blue chip name in the altcoin space. It does have a lot of growth in it, but who knows? Who knows how much they've got, and who knows how much longer they will stay. Um, Me personally, I don't believe XRP is going to stick around too long. It just depends on what they do moving forward. But I believe one of the creators of XRP, they've got a lot of experience in the banking space, so they're probably going to continue to leverage that and integrate into some sort of banking system. That's always been the play with XRP, is to integrate into the banking system, the traditional banking system, and we'll see how that plays out because you know the traditional banking system still plays a role, but I think ultimately at the end of it, it moves off into a decentralized borrow lending protocols and all these other things that are coming along the way that's going to disrupt the traditional finance space.
Yeah, so I actually agree with you with regards to your sentiment. I don't see XRP being a long-lasting crypto asset. Sorry to the XRP community. I mean, this space, this crypto sector is all about innovation, and if we see the number of tokens being released that are going to compete with XRP, it's absolutely massive. Now, does this mean you can't make money from XRP? Absolutely not. I mean, I've just drawn it here on the chart. It is making higher lows, which is indicative of a bullish market state. Now, does this mean XRP is going to go to the moon? It's going to be bigger than Bitcoin? I don't think so. I don't believe so. With all of the macro events happening with it, that being the SEC, Gary Gensler, their lawsuit, and all of that. Now, does this mean that you can't trade it? Absolutely not. You can definitely trade it. You can wait for a retracement. I mean, we are getting steady volume of. Clearly it's not investable volume as of yet. It's kind of in a sideways action. People are not accumulating yet, people are not dumping, which suggests that the community is strong. I mean, people are really some people call the XRP community art a cult, and the reason being is they're so feverishly loyal to the token. Now, we're token agnostic here at Spiral. We don't care. What we care about is actually making money through the market and actually having the crypto market pay you. Now, does this look like a long-term investment to us? To me personally, I don't think so, especially if they lose their overall lawsuit. Now, they did have bullish news regarding winning part of their lawsuit, but it hasn't been closed and they haven't settled. Now, let's just quickly do a little bit of TA here, Art. If people wanted to invest, I mean, there hasn't really been much of an accumulation zone. It's kind of been just sideways trending. For me personally, I would look to invest or look to accumulate around the 61.8 or 70.2% retracement, which is basically, if we look at the start of 2023 to now, which is basically where majority of the trading happened, right? So if someone was bullish on XRP, that's probably a good entry point. Yeah, Art, did you want to talk more about XRP, or did you want to transition to something else?
No, ready to move on. But basically, going off that quick cult-like comment, basically, for me, it's the same thing with Cardano. I
Yeah,
mean, I
exactly.
felt like same kind of thing. It's almost cult-like, but you know, it's can you make money off them? 100%, yes, you can.
And that's the thing, guys. You don't want to be loyal to a token, because the token isn't loyal to you. Okay, uh, just you're not married to it. Make money
As
from it, and that's it.
As Da Vinci used to say,
Yeah,
don't date it, trade it.
that's it, man. Don't date it, trade it. Okay, let's move on to the next bit of news. So the next bit of news is BlackRock and Coinbase launch a blockchain fund. Now, I actually spoke about this on the daily briefs, Art. So the new fund is called 𝗙𝗏𝗄. I don't know how you would pronounce that. Now, the idea behind 𝗙𝗏𝗄 is it's going to allow people to invest in a wider variety of crypto assets. And what BlackRock wants to do is it wants to create a basket of different asset classes. So they've actually they've partnered together with Coinbase to launch this fund. Now, is this overall bullish for the crypto market? Yes, it is, and the reason for that is it further confirms that this asset class is here to stay, and large big boy players like BlackRock are trying to dig their fingers into the market and have a stronghold in the market. And this was actually really bullish for the Coinbase stock price. So if we actually look that up,
Should be coin, COIN.
sorry, yeah, coin. Off that news, it actually gapped higher. So what this tells you, everyone, is that the market, the traditional finance space, the boomers, they're ready to accept the crypto class as an asset. Okay, so overall, this is bullish for the market. I just wanted to touch on that real quickly.
And is it cheap at those levels? No, not too much. Your value is all the way down at $60-$70. So
Oh
don't
yeah,
go out buying this. Wait for a retrace. Wait for some type of bearish news to come out to get your bids in
exactly, and that's if you're interested in investing in Coinbase as a stock.
as a
Def
stock
Yeah,
proxy to crypto essentially.
exactly, exactly. Now, one thing I just wanted to touch on. By the way, guys, you can follow us at Twitter at Spiral Strategies. Um, the thing I wanted to touch on is this bit of news here. So let's just have a listen into what Gary Gensler was saying about the overall crypto asset class.
And the beginnings of a ETF Bitcoin. We believe ETFs are a technology no different than Bitcoin was a technology for asset storage. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities about bonds and stocks.
Well, there you go, guys. Why I wanted to play that video is that's it, man. Real world assets are inevitably going to come on chain. And this is the most optimal time for everyone to start looking. Now, we have been really, really bullish on a couple of names. One of the primary names is LTO. Now, Art and I are very bullish on LTO, and if you just look at the chart here, it's as soon as this news came out, it just went bonkers. Now, why we believe in LTO is one, it's fundamentally sound. They have partnerships with the UN, right? And they've been in the space longer than other crypto real world asset tokens. Okay. Now, if we just look at the overall trend of the market, once we break out of this resistance point here, guys, which is at around 23 cents, it's uphill from here. Now, what do you think of real world assets coming on chain, Art?
It's 100% a game changer. I mean, it's basically like like essentially the analogy is like essentially transitioning from cash to credit cards. I mean, like, to be honest, I don't know too many, millennials our age or Gen Zs, even boomers. We've all transitioned to credit cards. We've all transitioned to digital money. It's just inevitable, and it's so much more convenient than having to carry around cash, especially since since COVID. I think a lot of people have shifted, but it's not perfect still. There's still outages here and there, where it can be a bit of a hassle not to have cash. But I mean, it's something we gotta live with. The system's never going to be perfect, but we're only here to optimize it, and this is the way forward. The way moving forward is essentially having all our assets tokenized, and it's going to change the real estate markets and all other types of markets in a massive way.
Exactly. And this is essentially 2000 and 2001 all over again. So this is where people that believe that TV is all the media that we need, radio is all that we need. Why do we need the internet and send emails when I can send a letter through the post? This is the revolution that's happening, right? Another name that we are really interested in for this real world asset space is 𝗙𝗎𝗄. Now, if you see here with 𝗙𝗎𝗄, it's in a channel now, and there's no trading that has happened above this point. Most of the trading has happened at around 18 cents. Now, we're actually really early on in on this name from 0.03 cents, and the reason for that is, again, we really believe that these real world assets are going to revolutionize the crypto space. Guys, there is an opportunity for a lot of millionaires to be made here. Now, this isn't us trying to shill. This is just real world facts and statistics. The real world asset space has, if we look at how much it's actually worth, it's around $16 trillion. Now, if
Even more than that if you include the derivatives markets. I mean, it's absolutely insane how much money is in derivatives.
exactly, I mean, it's in the trillions. It's definitely in the trillions.
Well beyond the trillions,
Ex
quadrillions. It's
exactly.
so underestimated.
So if that money can flow and become tokenized, don't you think that these protocols are actually going to benefit from that? And the overall overarching answer is 100% yes, right? So we're here to show you these names that will take this news and actually innovate on top of it. Another name that's new is Cardano, I believe it's called. Um, Now this particular name, it's a newer name uh, um, in the real world asset space. It's brand new, but it's an opportunity. So most of the accumulation has happened here at around 23 cents. Will it retrace? 100%. It's natural for it to retrace. So we're looking at actually entering at around 37, 40 cents, right? So that's your, freebie there. If you want to find out about more freebies like this and more potential investments, do sign up to our newsletter. You don't want to miss the opportunities that we have there for you. Okay, so the next bit of news um, is, I think we've already touched on that. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or should we talk about AI?
Did we go through the actually we can do that now. The EU ban
Yeah, let's.
on yeah, okay. Well, a bit of FUD before we head on to the good news, but the thing is, you're going to see more and more of it coming in the next few weeks, heading into and just after the halving. We're going to see lots and lots of FUD coming out, and one of them being the new EU AML laws, which are focusing on restricting payments via crypto wallets to centralized exchanges. The cap's going to be a minimum of 3,000, but any transactions above 3,000 will basically be outlawed. And then, transactions exceeding cash payments exceeding 10,000 euros will be prohibited. Now, I mean, how they're going to regulate this, I have no idea. Um, Obviously, if you're a centralized exchange, there's not much you can really do other than to follow those protocols and laws. But yeah, I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's it's this game of cat and mouse with crypto and the law kind of catching up with the space. I mean, it's moving at such an exponential rate that it's gonna it's a bit of a it's very chaotic with what's going to happen in the next couple of years. Um, it's gonna be crazy. So keep up to date with us. We're going to share the news and keep you guys updated essentially. But yeah, I mean, don't like that. I've never been a fan of all these AML protocols. I mean, you do need them. You definitely don't want any like terrorists or anything. Obviously, getting a hold of money laundering and all these different ways that you can. But essentially, it's already happening regardless but in like darker pools, black
They'll
markets,
they'll just
privacy,
find better
cash.
ways. They'll just
There's
find
always
better
going to be
ways.
a way, but if
Mhm,
you're restricting the 90% that already restricted
mhm.
as enough as it is, I mean, it's going to turn off so many people from traditional finance. I mean, I honestly don't see how much longer people can take being shoved down the throat with all this regulation and restriction in regards to what people can do with their money. I mean, it's their money. Why put further restrictions on it? I mean, at this point, I honestly believe, um, you know, the black market money, the terrorist money, all this, prisoners, they probably got more freedom than. And I think there was a funny podcast or something that came out where essentially it's like, you know, some of these prisons in like Norway and some of these first world countries are actually more livable than the general population.
Isn't that crazy?
It's absolutely absurd. But the matter of the fact is that it's true. Some of these prisons are like, and I think in Japan, the prisons are like, it's decent to the point where the elderly would try and get arrested on purpose so that they don't have to bother the general public. I mean, like it's just crazy. It's just crazy the times we live in.
Well, this kind of segues into what we want to talk about next, and that is decentralized exchanges. Now, who are they going to most likely be able to regulate? The only people that they can really effectively regulate are centralized exchanges, right? So that is your Binance, your Coinbase, your KuCoin, Kraken, so on and so forth. However, they can't regulate something that's decentralized, right? They can definitely try, but new ones will just keep popping up. Now, the one that we're really interested in and that we just recently launched a newsletter about is Orion Protocol. Now, Orion Protocol, one, it's a decentralized exchange. Two, it has the liquidity of a centralized exchange. And two, it'll allow you to trade off your cold wallet. Now, I don't know about you, Art, but this is the first time I've ever heard about a decentralized exchange allowing you to trade off your cold wallet.
Yeah, I think in the whole space, I don't think the competition's fierce. It's definitely flown under the radar, and it's definitely something that a lot of people will look to leverage more and more as the dexes start really giving you a lot more options and liquidity, especially with your leverage dexes, where you can basically borrow um, at like 3, 4x, 10x, whatever leverage that you want,
Mm-hmm.
and just trade that basically through your wallet and have that all automated through smart contracts. That's going to be a big game changer.
And they've got a massive ecosystem. Like we've stated here, they've got a portfolio management app. They've got a trading terminal, enterprise trading, liquidity boost. They have an actual app for and they have app stores. The next thing that they want to launch on is actually on the phone. The reason why one of the Dexes want to launch on the phone is majority of people own phones. They don't own desktops, right? So if they can allow people to have the freedom to trade and invest through their phone on a decentralized platform, that's massive. Now, if we actually look at the ORN page, they have a working product, Art, right? So if we actually get into the app, immediately you're prompted to log in, and then from there you can log in with, you can trade almost every protocol or every asset, excuse me, right? And the great thing about this is you're not limited by regulation, right? Now, we're extremely bullish on this name. If you want to read about where we believe the market will go, where we believe ORN's price will go, just to give you a hint, it's in the double digits for now, and we can definitely see it in the triple digits. If you want to find out more about where we believe it's going to go, when, and where is a great entry price, do subscribe and upgrade to our premium service to get that information. But let's just pull up the chart just to show you how it looks at the moment. On a weekly, everyone, I mean, it has absolutely gone crazy. And the reason for that, Art, is they actually are going to be working with Mantra, ticker name OM.
And they went absolutely insane.
Exactly.
I was looking at them. The funny story about OM is I thought they were a fan token called Marseille, but I was completely wrong with that. They were actually building
Exactly.
heavily in the background.
And what they're building is another real world asset protocol that's going to allow you to onboard real world assets. So that's ORM, and so that's OM, and ORN, Orion Protocol, is going to allow you to trade those decentralized, tokenized real world assets. So these two go hand in hand. In order for real world assets to maintain their effectiveness, you need to be able to trade them. So the bond market is one of the biggest markets that's traded on a day-to-day basis. If you tokenize that, you can expect these protocols like Orion to take a big market share up.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. I mean, the amount of money in bonds is incredible. One of the most liquid markets that you will ever trade.
Exactly. So again, guys, if you want to find out where we believe this market and where we believe ORN will go and what we believe is a good entry price, do check out our newsletter here. It's the first link in our Twitter, and subscribe to the premium service to get the latest buy sell indicators as well as premium price alerts. Okay, I think the final story that we want to talk about is the biggest narrative in the crypto space right now, and that's AI. And the reason why we want to talk about it is there are a lot of protocols at the moment that actually are heavily interested in having AI powered trading. Now, a big token that wants to facilitate that is ORAI, so Ori Chain, and BitTensor. Now, let's just take a quick look at ORAI. We also recently launched a newsletter about that. Let me show you. Here it is, and it also talks about where we believe this token will go. Now, ORAI is going to allow people to, one, create AI bots that will trade for you, effectively, basically, are making a bigger, adding more liquidity to the decentralized exchange ecosystem. And two, it's going to allow you to enter a marketplace of different AI bots. So say, Art, you've got an AI bot that's performing 40% better than mine. You can actually put it on chain and rent it out to people. I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah, wow, I've never actually thought of that. That's actually pretty handy.
It's a great innovation because it basically allows everyone to actively trade if they don't know how to trade. The next one is BitTensor. Now BitTensor is this one's an anomaly as well. I mean, it has absolutely skyrocketed. What they want to do is they want to amalgamate all of the different AI projects into one under one banner, right? And the way they incentivize these protocols is they get rewarded with BitTensor tokens. The tokenomics is very similar to Bitcoin. They have a proof of analytics or a proof of generation, AI generation consensus protocol, which basically allows people to, one, prove that they've been building AI protocols, and two, get rewarded with them. So what are your thoughts, Art, on this whole AI trading phenomena that's happening now?
Yeah, definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I mean, bit of a weird one. Bit of a weird one. I'm not too convinced with a lot of these AI names right now. A lot of them are just playing off the hype. But to be honest, I mean, there will be a lot of use cases, but I personally think we're a bit early in actual blue chip, i- if you would if you could call that blue chip kind of AI names. We're kind of yet to see one that kind of uh, takes a big market share. But at this point, it kind of reminds me of NFTs. We are playing off the hype, and a lot of the thing is a lot of the AI names have already pumped around minimum 1,000% to 10,000%. So, I mean, a lot of the value names are going to come in, um, as we see retracements, as we see dips, or as new names kind of come in. Um, but for me right now, The space is very frothy. There is money to be made, but for me, if you're one of those people that can take risk, definitely, you can play some small bets essentially, but the volatility is going to be too big for some small players. Or sorry, for most of the players in the space,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're kind of on your toes. This could, like, something like this could easily drop down to 240 from 700, which is a massive loss. So just be careful out there, guys. I mean, AI is the next big thing, but you do need to be very, very careful with the volatility, because the hype around it is massive. I mean, I'm not sure if you saw, but Nvidia came out with some interesting news as well,
Mm-hmm.
regarding their AI developments as well. Um, I can't remember exactly what it was. Let me just quickly bring it up. But it was massive. I think one
So
of their AI models was the output power was going to be somewhere in the realm of, like, let me find it.
Well, I believe they recently had a conference and they actually are getting into the robotic space. That's one piece of news. The other piece of news is they actually have been partnering with different crypto protocols, one of them being Near Protocol, and I believe there is rumblings that they actually are going to be working with Orai Chain, ORAI. And the reason for that is they want to be, I mean, they're the biggest chip manufacturers in the world, so they want to align themselves with the best um, AI cryptocurrency protocols out there. And the reason for that is they will have a bigger market share, right? Now, what was that story, Art?
It was basically and kind of like an in-house, basically, like, how a lot of these models run off, like, GPT-4 or these other AI generation models. The Nvidia was building something so that you could essentially run it, in, like, in your own home, where you don't have to interact with third-party or open source programs or firmware, and essentially you could have your programs talk to each other in
Mm,
your own computer, which is going to be absolutely massive. It's basically like having your own AI inbuilt, and the computational powers were, like, crazy. They were exponential, to what these other um, protocols were offering, and
mhm.
Nvidia's going in definitely in the right direction. I mean, they've probably got a massive research and development team just going absolutely crazy,
Mhm.
trying to drive that stock price up. But Nvidia's here to stay.
Mhm.
That's kind of the message that we got, um, with all the recent news with Nvidia. I mean,
So
and you could tell it's leading. It's absolutely carrying the whole global market.
yeah, I mean it's one of the biggest companies by market capitalization ever in the world now. Now, what does this mean for the crypto space in general? I mean, this is overall bullish for the crypto space, and the reason for that is you need computational power to sustain um, proof of work consensus protocols like Bitcoin, and two, you're going to need computing power for all of these AI tokens and these AI protocols that will eventually be a household name. Um, now, so overall, keep your eye out and definitely pay attention to the AI space. Now, it is like Art says, it is very frothy at the moment. A lot of people are just putting AI in their white paper names uh, uh, um, just to get a bit of hype for their tokens. Now, do stay locked into the to our Twitter and our newsletter. And the reason for that is we will keep you posted about what is a legitimate um, AI protocol, what is the next big thing, what is the next narrative, and how you can potentially make life changing money with it. With that, guys, I think that's all from us. I hope you got some value out of this. Um, from Art and myself, signing off. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.